Hey, happy Friday, everybody. Welcome back in. Sorry, I've been kind of MIA with videos on both channels and everything like that. Just a lot has been going on for the last couple of days. But I did want to come in today, Friday podcast. What's up? What is going on with everybody? How y'all doing? It is viewer's choice. I do this very rarely. So you guys are pretty good to dictate the conversation by just what you guys posted a chat, questions, comments, concerns, emotional outbursts, whatever you post in there, and that's going to kind of guide today's subject, right? So it's a free for all. It's viewer's choice. What up? Joys of San Joaquin Valley. How's it going? Welcome in. Yeah. How's everyone doing on this past week, right? Isn't it time is going by pretty quickly, isn't it? Like literally it's going pretty quickly. At least for me it is. I would say that it's going by pretty fast. I mean, we're already towards the end of September. October is just right around the corner. October 4th, the Made by Google event. I think I'm working that day, so I may not be able to do a live reaction when it goes down, but I will do a live reaction afterwards. Let me check the calendar. Yeah, it's a Wednesday. So I may be working that day. Maybe. We'll see what happens. See what happens on that day. Welcome in, everybody. How's it going? Oh, this week has just been kind of crazy. What have you guys been up to this week? What's new and interesting in your world? You guys tell me what's new and interesting in your world. What's going on? Did you guys, get the new iPhone 15, the iPhone 15 Pro, iPhone 15 Pro Max? Which is it that you guys got? If you guys actually went up and got it. I did see Carlos post a YouTube Shorts, and he was over at an Apple store. Of course, Apple does their store launches, and they do it pretty big. So I was like, yeah, I was excited because, I'm ready for Carlos to be unboxing some iPhones here and showing us, the iPhone 15, the 15 Plus, if he gets a Plus. But I know that the iPhone 15, the iPhone 15 Pro Max. Didn't know how accurate the information is, but SMT said there is a scam fraud taking place with Dish Boost. I knew someone was going to bring that up. You know what? This is something that's been going on for quite some time now. If you're wanting to know how accurate the information is, so the information basically just states that that people's CPNI is compromised, right? Their information as well, their private information is compromised. This is not something that's new to Boost Mobile, and I'm going to reiterate: Boost Mobile prepaid. This is not something that's new to them. They've been doing that for years. Okay. They've been doing that. They've also been doing this thing where it's like, I don't know if you guys remember. Okay. I have to reiterate this because then people are going to cross the two, Boost Infinite and Boost Mobile. They're going to get confused. Before Boost Mobile switched over to the new Boost and, the AT&T network, right? When it was using T-Mobile's network, and even during the time when it was under Sprint, you had to log into the app or onto the website to do an IMEI swap to be able to use your SIM card in another device. This is something that Boost Mobile did before, and they had this thing where it's like, if you called in and you're like, hey, you know what? Like, I want to switch my device. I want to switch the SIM card into this device, because normally the SIM card's bonded with whatever phone you activated, right? So if you bought a SIM card and you activate it on an iPhone, then that SIM card will be stuck to the iPhone. And sometimes the reps will be like, oh no, you got to buy a new SIM card to switch your services over to a new phone, right? But then there were some customer service reps that were like, no, you don't have to do that. We can link your SIM card to your new device. We just need the IMEI. But what a lot of people didn't know, what they were doing was they were literally connecting your new IMEI, your new device, to your current active SIM card on Boost Mobile. And your old IMEI, they were putting that IMEI on another account that wasn't even yours. I found this out personally because I had switched my services from the Pixel 5 on over to the Pixel 6 at one time. And then I was like, okay, you know what? I was gonna put visible on my Pixel 6, so I'll put the Boost mobile line on my Pixel 5, because that was a time where I had signed up a couple of years back for the EBB program during the pandemic, and Boost never turned off my services until they migrated every account from legacy Boost to new Boost. So I was getting free service for like 3 years almost. And yeah, so I wanted to switch a SIM card over. I didn't want to get a new SIM card or anything like that. So I called in and I was like, yeah, I want to switch my device. I want to switch the SIM card and bond it with a different device. They were like, oh, what's the IMEI number? And I gave them the Pixel 5's IMEI number. And when I did that, they were like, oh, what's the password to the account? And I was like, what are you talking about? There should be no other account. And they're like, oh, this IMEI is on another account. I was like, I didn't have another account. Never had another account with this phone connected to it. So why is it on somebody else's account? And they were trying not to give out information because they're trying to protect that. But they were like, oh, well, we have to wait for this account to cancel. I was like, are you crazy? They were like, did you buy the phone from somebody else? Did someone give you the phone? I was like, no. And mind you, they have a device history in their system they can reference and look at. I told them, look at the device history. The IMEI is going to show up on my account, this account only, for like the longest time. So why is it on somebody else's account? The moment that I had put 2 and 2 together and was talking to the rep, and I was like, the last time that I called in and I switched services over to the Pixel 6, did they happen to just take my IMEI and throw it on like a non-active Boost account? And when I had said that, the rep, disconnected. I was like, shit, I gotta call back in. So yes, Boost Mobile Prepaid has been known to do some shady stuff. Okay. Hey, Eric, what's going on? Welcome in. Hey, Tito, my week was also crazy. I'm probably going to opt out of the on the iPhone 15. I've heard the same thing about Boost, and I've also heard T-Mobile is going down the spiral. Yeah, T-Mobile has another data breach. T-Mobile denies that hackers did a data breach, but T-Mobile customers could see the bills, payments, information, and other T-Mobile customers. Yeah, T-Mobile's never going to really own up to their stuff. They're never really going to own up and say, hey, we had a data breach again. It's not surprising because I really don't know what T-Mobile's doing as far as their security. And I make joke about it that they have Game Boy level security, and you know what? It's probably worse than that. I would say Commodore 64 security. They are really, really bad, and I think the only way T-Mobile learns a lesson is if people get off their backsides and just sue the bastards. Sue them. You know what I mean? Because when you sign up for T-Mobile service and you go through all that stuff, I guarantee you look through the fine print of everything, right? And they have basically breached their contract. Like, they are to provide you services. They are to protect your information. This is why they train their reps about, account security. There's a reason why that they make it sometimes, painful for you to get access to your account when you forget your password or you forget, anything that would identify you. And I know sometimes people blow up on them and get mad and like, oh, they're stupid, they don't know what they're doing, but technically they're protecting your account. And I'm not talking about T-Mobile reps, I'm talking about phone reps in general. They're not, just because you are who you are, you got to remember they can't see you through the phone. So just because you know you are you doesn't mean that they know that you are you, And so of course, all that headaches you may get because they're like, oh yeah, we can't we can't go any further. You don't know the right answers to this or that and the third or whatever. So you get mad, you're like, fuck yeah, when I've dealt with that so many times. But you know what? Like, they are trained to basically protect everyone's information. So because that T-Mobile has failed to do that, because this most recent data breach is just weird. People being able to see each other's bills. Plus, we don't know what else they took. We don't know if they got anything else. If they got, more information to sell online. I mean, those that kind of like break into T-Mobile systems and get customers' information are obviously definitely looking for information to sell. social security numbers if they're able to grab those, but which is kind of hard to say that, because even like on a customer service rep based system, when they're able to see like your information, like yes, they can see your home address that you provided, and they may they may sometimes be able to see your date of birth if that's something that they acquire. And like credit card numbers, it's always the last 4 digits of the credit card number. It's never the full card number. And social security numbers, if their social security number is tied to the account, it's always the last 4 of the social. It's never the entire social security number. But mind you, the last 4 of the social is still crucial. So they are very protective of those things. At least some businesses are. I can't say, how T-Mobile security is. But the fact that they've been breached again, that's unfortunate for them. It really is unfortunate for them. It's kind of sad. Can't really say too much on that. If you're just joining in, it is viewer's choice tonight. So, if you got something you want to share, something you want to say, definitely post it in the chat, and we can all vibe off that and talk about that. I do got a couple of people that's on the Boost Infinite Facebook page. Some of them had taken a plunge in getting the Infinite iPhone Access plan, so they're getting their free iPhone 15s free supposedly. Some of them are running into headaches with the order. One person already had said that they had the wrong mailing address for his order, and he's trying to catch it before they ship it out. But then he was freaking out because he tried to track to see where it was really going to go by using the tracking number that was provided in the email. And when he went to the tracking number and UPS popped up, it basically stated that the tracking number doesn't exist. I want to kind of clear that up so people can understand something here. When Boost Infinite gets an order ready, right? They grab the phone that they're going to ship to you. They begin preparing the box to put it in to ship it out to you. On a business account for shipping, they basically create a label. Now, UPS assigns them a tracking number, right? Now, on UPS's system, that tracking number is not live for any information until the box is scanned by a UPS delivery pickup personnel, right? So a UPS truck has to go to their warehouse. They got all these boxes of orders ready to ship out. And as they load them into the UPS truck, they are scanning the little barcode. And when they do that, that enters it into the system that it's been received by the parcel company that's going to be shipping the order. Once it's in their possession, it's in UPS's possession, that tracking number will then have live info. Okay. Sometimes when you hit the tracking number, it will tell you something to the effect of that the parcel company has not received your package yet, which means that it wasn't picked up by UPS. They don't, at least from what I know, they don't use FedEx, because every order that we've ever placed has always gone through UPS. And anytime that anyone's ever gotten an email that has the tracking number, the moment they get that tracking number, they immediately click it, and then it says that the tracking information does not exist for this. That's because it was just newly created. All right. When orders are placed before 4 p.m., they are shipped out the same day. If they're placed after 4:15 p.m., they may not be shipped out the same day. This is not an East Coast, Central, West Coast timing. It's not unified for all. It is based on your zones. Okay. So, yeah. Don't freak out if you do the order right now, and then in the next 5 minutes you get an email with a tracking number and you click on it and there's no info. It doesn't mean that they stole your money and they're not shipping out your phone. They're going to ship out your phone. Okay. Give it like 24 hours for it to have updated information to track. I love when people panic on it. Like it's like that was like handling, questions. That was probably like 35% of my daily questions that I got a lot from people that ordered phones. And it says it's not a real tracking number. What's going on? So relax, give it an hour to 24 hours and you'll find tracking information for it. Sometimes people expect things to just go like that. That's just not how it works. You know what I mean? Again, if you guys want to help out the channel and want to go directly to me and not have YouTube dip their hands in the honeypot, QR code right there. Go ahead and scan that. All donos are going through PayPal, and I would definitely appreciate that. But anyways, so currently right now, what's kind of going on for devices that I'm using my Pixel 7a and my iPhone XS. Updated my iPhone XS to iOS 17, so it's updated to it. And I mean, just because, one, my wow, it like changed the track like so suddenly. My sister uses iOS, and so we kind of chat a lot. She uses FaceTime, and I accommodate. So I FaceTime with her on the iPhone. It's got my secondary Boost Infinite SIM card in there. And I could tell you that for some reason with the iPhone XS, the reception on LTE is just bad with AT&T connection. Like I can put my Pixel 7a on LTE if I wanted to make it fair, but there's no reason to really make it fair. You know what I mean? Connections are connections, and I'm mostly on home Wi-Fi, so go figure. SMT said the iPhone 15 is not worth upgrading to if you have last year's new iPhone. Apple does not put out big improvements that fast. I don't mean to bust on SMT, but that's any phone. That's any phone. Like when it comes to smartphones and upgrades annually, everyone lives under the placebo effect. Okay, you only want to see what you want to see. Okay, there's a bit of bias in everybody. Okay, I don't sugarcoat shit here. Everybody is biased in some form of way. There's phones you like, there's phones you don't like. And when there's phones that you don't like that do things, it gets under your skin. It's whatever it is. But here's the thing. With Samsung, with Google, with Apple, with any of those phones, the upgrades every year that you get is minimal. It is minimal. That's like fully packed with extra bullshit. Okay, so you got a thick layer of bullshit you're gonna cut through to get down to the real, like, incremental update to this, update to that. You know what I mean? So, I mean, same thing with Google Pixels. We're getting a bunch of features in the Pixel 8 and 8 Pro that can easily be freaking ported to any other Android device as long as they have a powerful CPU to support those commands. But it doesn't necessarily mean that the Pixel 8 is like a giant improvement over the Pixel 7. They're very minor incremental. It's just that a lot of these OEMs have learned your guys' habits. Been watching for years, and I really appreciate your content, man. Thanks. Appreciate that. That's awesome. I really appreciate that. But yeah, they've learned a lot of our habits. They know that we're willing to just toss money to upgrade to the next phone if they just kind of dress it up pretty, right? Like a hooker, you have one night and then you go back out in the same block and then you'll get another one. Not an upgrade from the first one that you mess with, but you know what? I mean, you'll find an upgrade reason in that. That's what I'm saying. Same thing with phones. It's just like that. People are just like, oh, well, it's got a bigger camera sensor. This is the reason why that we have these things on social media where people nitpick at phones and be like, oh, it's lacking this. They try to find something wrong with it. There's not really anything wrong with most smartphones today. Most smartphones today are powerful. Most smartphones today are smart. Most smartphones today take good photos with cameras that they have. There's not really much. Slight bump in battery. You get an extra 20 minutes to watch YouTube on your phone, with the battery upgrade from last year's model. It's always that. So, he's right about it. It's not a giant upgrade from the iPhone 14. And every smartphone is like that. The Galaxy S24 Ultra is not going to be leaps and bounds big upgrade from the S23 Ultra. As the S23 Ultra wasn't a big upgrade from the S22 Ultra. Same thing with Moto. The Moto Edge Plus 2023 is not a giant upgrade from the Edge Plus 2022. Minor little things here and there, but nothing that says, yeah, go ahead and fork out $1,000. It's just really what it is today. Every OEM has hit that glass ceiling. There's nothing else that they can do that's going to differentiate them from their competitors, much less be something that is considered a giant innovative idea or feature. None of them are doing it. They have hit their glass ceiling. There's nothing more that they can do except tell you the reasons why you got to buy this newer phone, because we put in a new camera sensor that, if you thought last year's model saw the zit on your nose and clarity, this one is going to put that shit in 4K. Like, that's the best that they can do for advertisement on an upgrade is cameras, battery. Samsung with this whole thing of foldable technology, and it's like, great. Now you got Google Pixel Fold. Pretty soon we will get it. I mean, it is almost ridiculous to say that Apple's never going to build a foldable. They are. They're just going to wait their time and do it. And I already know what their marketing campaign is going to be is, the new Apple, whatever the hell they're going to call it, because they're not going to call it a fold. They're going to give it some sort of snazzy name to it. But then they're going to say, we didn't do foldables because we were perfecting it, to try and stump out Samsung. That was like, lead into the foldable displays. They're going to do all those things, right? So, there's nothing else more that really can be done. The only innovative thing that they can actually try to do is to create some type of holographic, phone call, video call, actually, like in Star Wars, right? Can you imagine holding a smartphone that has a way to display a 3D holographic image so you can talk to somebody, and your display just happens to have the technology to be able to create that without needing like a glass box on top of the display to create that image? If they can do that, I mean, they're focusing on so many different things. Health. Oh, well, let's pack as much health sensors into a watch. Like, I'm waiting for the one that really can kind of just like go after my glucose levels because I'm type 2 diabetic and really just kind of give me that, you know what I mean? And I'm sure they're going to do that eventually. They're eventually going to do that. So, health is where they approach things at. Cameras is where they approach things at. The display, we've packed in a giant ass 7-inch display and it's such a tiny body, I know that's hypothetical. It's not real. Okay. There are limitations to how small they are. I have noticed that Google Chrome browser is showing me news articles about similar subjects I have researched the day before. Because Google Chrome browser does watch your actual search. Like, if you're just going into browser and searching, it memorizes it, so it thinks you're interested in that, so it's going to still present you things based off your search, right? Now, if you don't want, Google looking at a search that you're doing, open incognito mode. But then again, Google has always been watching a lot of this stuff. There's a reason why that if you want to have an internet browsing without anyone tracking what you're doing on there, then DuckDuckGo is the way to go. Use that browser because you don't have to worry about anyone tracking your history, tracking your searches, listening, right? You don't want them listening because they do. Smartphones today do listen. It's not just one. It's not, Google does it, but Apple doesn't. No, I bet you more than anything, Apple does it too. Samsung does it too. They're listening. You say something and then it's just so funny that you get on your browser and it just happens to be one of the results that is suggested for a search. It really is just the way it is. So, yeah. As crazy as that is, I found it interesting. Yeah, it is pretty interesting that some people just get kind of paranoid about that too. I don't know if people are just hiding things, in their life, because today, social media, we present ourselves to the way that we're not really. You know what I mean? You go on someone's Instagram and you can see someone's living up the life. They're posing a picture next to a Lamborghini. They're wearing really nice clothes for the day, but you don't know if that person is dirt poor or whatever, whatnot. Like, everybody shows their representative on social media, but never shows who they really are. And, so with the way that things are today, yeah, wouldn't surprise me. People are just like trying to hide personal details about themselves. But I don't know if Carlos is going to do an unboxing later. I hope he's doing an unboxing later on today. Well, this is going to be pretty awesome. Oh, wow. If you guys check Twitter, Sneed just posted it. Well, he didn't just post a tweet, but he posted a tweet that's kind of heartbreaking. I was reading it for a second here, and it's kind of sad. You know what? Like we're all going through a lot of struggles. Everybody in this country is going through struggles. You guys are probably going through struggles. I'm going through struggles. I mean, there's a lot of struggling that's just happening. And we're all trying to pay our bills, and we're all trying to buy food to eat. We're all trying to survive in this crazy world today. And it's just, you know, I hate to hear when people pour their heart out because, you know, they're at the end of their rope and just something bad happens to them from a company. And they're just trying to convey their frustrations, really. So don't mind my dogs. My sister-in-law's probably here picking up my nephew. But like, you know, it's really sad to read that type of stuff, you know. I try to be very clear with everybody and whatnot, you know. Like I understand struggles, you know. Some people don't. Some people think, you know, because of YouTube and social media that, you know, I'm different than what I actually am, and it's not. I mean, I don't know any other way. I'm just genuinely me. You know what I mean? I go through struggles just like everybody else. I've been homeless multiple times in my life, you know, and being homeless is not something that's like easy to do. Like recently, I've been watching a lot of YouTube videos about content creators who live in their car, and they do all these things to modify the inside of their car so they can live inside of it. You know, if it's a single person that's just traveling around the country and living in their car, they'll take out the passenger seat, they'll take out the back seat area, they'll kind of rip it all down, and they'll like build like a little bench bed that extends into the trunk so they can lay flat out and straight with their legs out without it being crunched. They build like a tiny chair for them to sit, like a movable table for them to be able to use for like getting on their laptop or writing, you know, things that they have to write down. They get like little makeshift not ovens, but excuse me, like stoves, and they cook inside there. And I'm just like, you know, these things are interesting. And I know that people are finding these videos interesting because there are people who are losing their homes because, of course, rent these days is like hella freaking expensive. You know, here in my city right now, like a studio apartment in a decent area, 1 bedroom, kind of like 1 bedroom, but like, you know, with 1 bathroom, will run you about $1,475, so $1,475 a month. You know, in a very, very bad neighborhood, you can get like a studio apartment with a bathroom for like $1,250, between $1,050 to $1,250. That's just for a studio, okay? When you start going up to 1 bedroom, 2 bedrooms especially, 2 bedrooms is like $1,850 to, you know, almost, you know, $2,000 a month. You go higher than that, like a 3 bedroom apartment, you know, you're already looking at, you know, $2,000 to $22,000 to $2,200 a month. Sorry, I was gonna say 22,000. Like, wait a minute, no, that's a huge, yeah. So, you know, like these videos are becoming very popular. Like I just found a bunch of different people that I've been watching. I've been amazed on just what they were able to do. I've seen some people start off with a little Honda Accord. They worked with that for like the beginning of their channel. It's been like almost a year, and they upgraded to an SUV and had more room. I know a person went and bought one of those Econoline vans and completely worked it into a mini apartment that they drove around. And they give tips on like places where to go to sleep that's safe, like, you know, sleep at a Walmart parking lot if you can, sleep outside of a police station, you know, just let the police station know, like, hey, I live in my vehicle, I'm parked here for the night to sleep. You know, that way they don't think that, you know, you're doing anything illegal, or they don't come bothering you because you're like parked there and you look suspicious, right? And like, you know, they show like how they keep their food, you know, cold. So like they have like these sponsors from all these little tech companies that build like mini refrigerators that can fit in your car. They look like coolers, like a regular medium-sized cooler, and like they have like a divider in the middle. Half of it is cooling your food, half of it is freezing your food, and it plugs in. You know, they show you how to convert, you know, their cigarette lighter into, you know, like an AC adapter to be able to like plug in things. So cool, those channels. I enjoy watching them. I read news articles. MasterCard is sharing and selling our account data, like where we shop, where we eat, the types of items and services we buy with restaurants and stores. Yeah, Could be. It could be. This is one of the reasons why that they didn't want people using a lot of debit cards. Like debit cards was never the thing that they really wanted to push people towards, but it made things convenient to buy things. And so more and more people got it. And then of course they started having prepaid debit cards. They started, they started making banks started making it to where you can get your child a debit card. And they're trying to teach people to use that, because debit cards leave a paper trail like credit cards do as well. Debit cards leave a paper trail where you shop, where you're going, what you're buying online and everything like that. If you had cash, right, there's no paper trail except for your receipt that you walk out with. So it wouldn't surprise me if they had all this data and they're selling it. I mean, today, the most lucrative item in the United States of America, and I shit you not, I mean this, the most lucrative item in America is your information. It really is. It's why T-Mobile's getting hacked so many times. They keep stealing T-Mobile customers, information and selling it on the dark web. And here's the thing too, the T-Mobile shills out there, the ones that go to defend T-Mobile, and they start pointing out people saying, oh, you don't like T-Mobile because of this, and you're a fanboy of this, and you're like, dude, cut this shit out, man. Your info is taken. Like if Verizon did it, you would get mad at Verizon. If AT&T did it, you would be chomping on AT&T. Like, when it comes to data breaches, it doesn't matter what service provider you like. It doesn't matter anymore. It's generally having to do with security and safety of your private information. It doesn't fucking matter what the brand is. I get so weirded out by people that just kind of heavily go into, you guys hate T-Mobile, and that's why you guys are talking shit about T-Mobile. It's like, no, that's not the reason. The reason why we're bringing it up is because they've been breached. When Boost Infinite got breached, anyone could look at my channel. I talked about the breach. I talked about, their lack of transparency to their customers to let us know, what information was taken. The fact that they didn't know what information was taken because they were still investigating and it was taking a while. They weren't even, to be honest with us, to say, hey, look, I know this is frightening. We still don't know what they took from you guys. We're still looking into it. We don't have answers for you, but we appreciate you guys being patient. Nothing ever came from them to really just kind of tell us what happened, right? I went on Boost Infinite for that. So it's not even about, fanboying and, you like this brand, so that's why you go talk crap about this band, this brand. It's no, it's not even about that. It's just being general real about it. Hey, T-Mobile got hacked again. You know what? We wouldn't be talking about T-Mobile and a data breach if they would just up their security and stop having such, a fragile security system that's easily to break into. And if it's somebody that's internal, then they need to find that person who's literally doing it and get that person out of there. Because, at this point right now, me and, putting on my Inspector Gadget hat, this many times data being breached by T-Mobile would lead me to really believe a good 72% that persons involved has to be an internal person. For this many times to have it, unless T-Mobile's really just being lazy about it, oh, we got data breached again. No, our IT team does not need to go and try to beef up security to protect information. We'll just stick with what we have and hopefully they don't try again. If that is them, then people that are defending T-Mobile, you're dumb for doing that. Because if that's really what they're doing, is they're just brushing it to the side and just hoping it doesn't happen again, then they ain't doing nothing to protect your information. So why put stock in a company that doesn't back you? Right? Now, if they are, and they're consistently changing security things, then it's somebody internal. It has to be somebody internal giving this information out. It's just so convenient that, their data breach has happened so many times. I've lost count how many times T-Mobile has been breached. I've lost count generally. I have. I don't even know. I would have to Google search it to find out how many times that their information, their customers' information has been breached and has been tampered with, stolen, and whatever. I don't even know off the top of my head. So that tells you it's been more than a minimal amount that it should have been. Boost Infinite has been cyber attacked once, and everybody ripped an asshole in them for the one time that they got hit. You don't hear anything else talking about that they've been hit again. You haven't. Ever since February earlier this year, there's been nothing else that's really talked about it. There's been a lot of a road to recovery for Dish Wireless and Boost Infinite, but there hasn't been another one. We haven't gotten the news. Oh, they've been cyber attacked again and locked out of their own systems. No, the T-Mobile has. Last year, the year before, and the year before, and the year before, we've lost count. Okay, so that's a difference. T-Mobile's been hacked several times. Boost only once. Boost Infinite, I'm talking about, and Dish Wireless. Let's just say Dish in total, because it also affected Dish TV, it affected Sling TV, it affected each department, not just Boost Infinite. And so because of that one time, I always found it strange that people went in on them and was just talking mad trash about them, like as if this is like the 100th time that they've been hacked. No. But T-Mobile has, and it's so funny that I see people, Sneed shares his tweets on Twitter, and I read them, and I'm like, wow, these people are really going in on Sneed talking about it, calling him a fanboy of Verizon and AT&T and all this other stuff, and it's just like, it's crazy. Like, you guys talk that mad trash and everything like that. Boost Infinite gets cyber attacked, and you guys were in there fucking going after them like as if they've been hit so many times. That's what I'm saying. Like, there's always a bit of bias in everybody. Everybody's biased about something. I am biased about phones. I like Google Pixels. I really like Google Pixels, but it doesn't stop me from using something else. I also like iOS. I do like it. I think it's great for what it can do. There are just things that I don't like about it. There's things that I do like about it. It has its pluses and its minuses, and that's every smartphone. Every smartphone in general has its pluses and its minuses. So I really enjoy using my Pixel 7a. And my Pixel 6a somewhere over there. There's good and there's bad in everything. You just got to figure out which one is giving you the more goods and, less of the bads. For those who are content creators, have you used the new YouTube Creates app? Have you used it to make shorts, to edit videos to YouTube? I think it's great. It's a great startup for it just being beta, because it's not even fully launched yet. It's still in beta. This beta version of a video editing app from YouTube called YouTube Create, it's pretty damn good. It's really on par with CapCut. I'll honestly say that off jump. It's really on par with CapCut. There's a lot of things that you can do with YouTube Create. Sadly enough, YouTube Create is not available for iOS. So if you go in the App Store on iOS, you're not going to find it there. If you're on an Android device, you'll find its beta app. It's ready for people to use. Give me 1 second. I will be right back.